Tuesday Drive.
And now to our second Australia Day recipient, and I'm most excited because this one shines a light on the many performers around the country and indeed the Shoalhaven that have almost been dormant for the last 12 months due to the pandemic. Merrin Ross has spent her life, I think it'd be fair to say, dedicated to the arts and has just been awarded the Order of Australia medal, and I am thrilled to be able to speak to her now. Congratulations, Merrin.
Oh, thank you so much, Steve, and I'm thrilled to be speaking to you because I do remember back at Nowra High School your days on the stage as well. In fact, I think you were in one of the musical theatre productions that we did at Nowra High School, and I have very fond memories of you being at that school in that production. And
Do you
many.
know which one it was? Wasn't Aladdin?
I think it was Abracadabra. Was it Abracadabra?
Oh gosh, that is going back a while.
It is going back a long way.
Was I a tree or something like that in that performance?
Oh no, I wouldn't have done that to you.
Hey, Merrin, I'm feeling like the next time I meet you, I should be bowing or sort of giving you a bit of a curtsy after this award.
Oh, Steve, I would be so embarrassed if anyone treats me any differently to the way that they currently treat. And to receive an award like this is extremely humbling. It's wonderful to think that you are joining a cohort of people who have been recognised for their contribution to so many aspects of life in Australia. And so I feel very honoured to be now considered to be a part of that cohort.
When did you find out that you were receiving it?
It was an email from the Governor-General's department, and of course we were that was in early December last year, and you were sworn to secrecy to not reveal that you had that you were going to be receiving the award. Prior to that, I had received a message saying that I was nominated for an award, and would I be happy to receive the award if it was to be. And so, of course, I responded positively to that, and then sometime later received the email confirmation that the Governor-General had decided to award the Medal of Australia to me. So, yes, it was a great honour and hard to keep it secret, I suppose.
I was going to ask you, you found out in December. How difficult was it not to tell a soul?
Well, I would say that my husband knew.
Oh, of course.
Dennis is considered my wingman. Some people refer to him as. He's been there sort of right through probably most of the things that I've been involved in the performing arts in the region. From the days at school to then being the regional arts coordinator for the Department of Education, which took me up and down the coast and involved with all sorts of activities, with students. So it hasn't just been community theatre, but community theatre is certainly a large part of the recognition that this award goes to.
Did you ever think when you first came to the Shoalhaven that you'd end up with an OAM?
Not at all. Not at all. I just wanted to keep doing what I loved doing. And I was thrilled to, I have done shows with Nowra Players too. Nowra Players, and then Albatross Musical Theatre Company sort of became, I guess, my home base for for my passion to be achieved. So yes, no, it's been delightful and certainly not considered at that stage.
What brought you to the Shoalhaven originally? Because it was back in the early 70s, late 70s?
It was mid-70s, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
I started my teaching career in Sydney in 1973, and we came down, when I say we, my husband and I came down here in 1978, and we've been here ever since. And I think what brought us was just what a fabulous place the South Coast is. We didn't want to be too far away from from family and friends that we already had in Sydney and also in the Illawarra. Dennis grew up in the Illawarra, and I grew up in Sydney. And so being Nara was a good base for both of those areas, and it was also access to places like Jervis Bay, and it satisfied a love that we had of camping, and took us to all sorts of places. So we love the South Coast.
And where did the passion for music come from? Has it always been there with you?
It always has been. I think I never... I'm told as a baby, that I constantly wanted to be held near the mantelpiece clock, which would chime. And I knew from 5 that I wanted to learn to play the piano, and my parents, I was very fortunate that they actually struggled to get me an upright piano, and I still have that upright piano. That's still what I use. So it's come through life with me, and whenever I thought about a career, I knew I wanted to be a music teacher, and the classroom music teacher rather than a private music teacher. I think my father was a school teacher, and I saw that school offered a lot of opportunities, and once I was there working with kids in the classroom, I didn't really want to be doing anything else because, and in many ways I sacrificed along the way promotional opportunities, because I knew those promotional opportunities in teaching would take me away from the classroom, and it was really the classroom and the kids in the classroom and making music with those kids in the classroom that was the real passion.
And what is it about teaching children, or even indeed young performers, music that really gets you excited?
Seeing their joy, I think. Even if it is only a minor achievement, and as a teacher you work to sort of make things achievable. You don't create situations where what they're doing is not achievable, and pushing them when you know that they have talent, pushing them just that little bit, but certainly nurturing talent and exposing them to all sorts of musical styles that they may not come across in their ordinary lives at home and with their own family. I remember with much mirth, actually, sometimes the reactions that I got to some of the music that I exposed kids to in the classroom, but I think they thanked me for it in the long run. And for many of those kids, they've gone on to careers and a great love of music past their school days. So, no, I think it's just that joy of creating music together. It was always me with the kids. It was never me expecting them to do something that I couldn't also sort of, participate and encourage them with.
Now, Merrin, of course, over the years, as we've mentioned before, you've been involved with the AMTC, Southern Stars, the Illawarra Southeast Performing Ensemble, and founder, of course, of the Junior Albatross Musicals or Jam, just to name a few. I've got to ask you, where do you find time just to take a break and sit down by that beautiful piano you have and just have a little moment to yourself tinkering on the ivories there?
Well, funnily enough, last year with COVID gave me that opportunity, really.
Like many, yes.
More than I wanted. We were terribly disappointed to be postponing and then cancelling shows that AMTC were hoping to put on last year, and I was involved with that as one of the musical directors with one of their shows. So yes, there was time to sit at home and tinkle the ivories, and I guess because I've never really thought of myself as a performer, I've always considered that I enjoy music making, but I enjoy music making in a group situation. I've never considered myself as a solo performer. So for me, even sitting at home, playing piano, I prefer to do that when there's no one else around. I don't really aim to do it with an audience. And so shows such as the last 5 years, which AMTC have just done at the Nara School of Arts, it was a small chamber orchestra, and we were very exposed individually, I guess, as performers, and that was a great challenge for me, and I had to put in a lot of practice for that show, but I, again, thoroughly enjoyed playing piano in that. I guess that's where my real talent lies, actually. It was great fun.
I'm speaking with Merrin Ross, one of our latest Order of Australia medal recipients. Speaking of the OAM, Merrin, where are you going to display it?
Well, Steve, I do have a few other awards in our study, and it will probably gain a spot, I would think, somewhere amongst those. So, I would proudly have it somewhere that I can see it, even if other people coming to the house don't necessarily see it.
And how are you celebrating this afternoon, Merrin?
There's a bottle of champagne just waiting to be opened, Steve.
Lovely. Chilled, I hope, on a day like today?
It is chilled, and I made a lovely fresh apricot cake to go with it.
Oh, sounds delicious. Merrin, a very heartfelt congratulations to you. It's very well deserved, and I'm looking forward to just seeing what lies ahead of you in the world of the arts.
Thank you, Steve. I very much appreciate your support and constant sort of encouragement over the years too. So thank you.
No, it was a pleasure. That was Merrin Ross, one of the latest to join the esteemed Order of Australia Medal Club, and very well deserved. You're listening to Tuesday Drive on this Australia Day 2021, and it's lovely to have you tuned in wherever you may be listening right across the Shoalhaven.
This is Tuesday Drive.